Dear brothers and sisters in Christ, good morning, happy Wednesday. Today, Wednesday, December 17th. We're just 8 days away from Christmas. The last 8 days of Advent are called Advent Novena. It's 8 days, but the days of immediate preparation towards Christmas. And so the gospel readings of this last 8 days of Advent are taken from the beginning of the Gospels of Matthew and Luke, the only two Gospels talk about Jesus' birth and infancy, and they revolve around the events that led to Jesus' birth. Everything happened before Jesus' birth and led to his birth. And every year on this day, December 17th, the gospel reading is taken from Matthew. It's called the genealogy of Jesus Christ. It's a long list of names, basically. But follow the same pattern. Starts with Abraham, who became a father of Isaac, and then Isaac, father of Jacob, Jacob, father of Judah and his brothers, and goes on and on and on. Someone became a father of someone else, a man and father of his son, and so forth. So at first glance, this list of names might sound a little bit dull, and reading this list of names, and taking a look at this list of names, might give rise to a question. So why do you have to read this list of names or listen to this list of names? What's the point? Well, it's very important, actually, what Matthew did here. Actually, Luke did something similar, even though the genealogy he worked backwards, starting from Jesus back to Adam, actually. But Matthew starts with Abraham, to Jesus, from Abraham to the birth of Jesus. Well, why is this genealogy, the list of names, so important? Well, for multiple reasons, but the main reason is Matthew wanted to make it crystal clear that Jesus was a man like all of us, just real person, a man, not a spirit, first of all. But Jesus was not even, it's Jesus, Son of God, clearly. Jesus was not a spirit, but was not even a God who came down from heaven to earth to enter into someone's body for a certain time and then to go back. In human history, we have stories of gods who enter into human bodies, kind of manifest themselves in a physical form, entering someone's body, or can descend from heaven, taking up a human form and to show themselves for a little while to people. But the point is, all the stories revolve around the idea that the gods would come down for a time, but their place is not the earth. The place is heaven. They might come down to be with us for a little bit, but they don't belong here. Instead, Matthew wants to get this message across. Jesus belongs to this place. Jesus belongs here to the earth. He is the Son of God who became one of us, not as a visitor, not as a guest on the earth, to become a dweller like all of us, an inhabitant of the earth. First of all, so this is what Matthew wants to do, wants to get his message across. Jesus is the Son of God. God became one of us, like one of us, born in a certain place of certain parents. Of course, the mother, with no cooperation human being, but Jesus had the DNA like all of us. Right now, nowadays, well, this websites that advertise DNA testing to trace our ancestors, right? I don't remember the names of the websites on top of my head. You can have the DNA screen and trace your ancestors, a percentage of which population you belong to, and so forth. They didn't have those tools back in the days. They had genealogies saying, well, Jesus was the son of Mary and Joseph. Joseph was son of Jesse, and so forth, to go back, starting with Abraham. Jesus connected, Matthew wants to say, that's a second crucial point. Matthew wants to say that Jesus is connected with Abraham and particularly with David. Jesus was born in the house of David, as the descendant of David. And his Jewish person, hence the reference to Abraham, Jesus was a Jew, a king, the relationship with David. And the goal of Matthew's Gospel is to prove, to show that Jesus is the Messiah. A Jewish king, Abraham and David, and then he came among us, a son of God as a Messiah. And genealogies were very popular in ancient times. And again, to tell others where the person was, basically, where the person was from. We tend to have, as I say, DNA screenings options, and to have digital archive or even a written archive of where people are from. People move around, and how did you know who was whom and where people was coming from? You need to tell people, I'm from this place, this is my father, these were my ancestors going back, to give credibility to a person. It's not fake, not phony. It was a legitimate person. He actually was what he said he was. But actually was what he said he was. But then Matthew introduced small details here to say that Jesus' birth actually was unique. First of all, in the genealogy, as I say, the structure is pretty simple. A man generated his son, man became a father of his son. But Matthew introduced 4 women, kind of 4 names of women. Rahab, a prostitute; Ruth, a non-Jewish person, non-Jewish woman; Bathsheba, the wife of Uriah; and Mary. So first three women, Rahab, Ruth, and the wife of Uriah, Bathsheba, were instrumental to God's plan, even though one was a prostitute, so more or less speaking, was not up to the task of God's call. Ruth was not a Jew, and Bathsheba, the wife of Uriah, cheated on her husband and gave a son to King David. They had an affair, but all these 3 women then were instrumental to God's plan. So Matthew is saying, God can act in a mysterious way, making use, so to speak, also of making use of something not good to fulfill his plan. But then, of course, this leads to Mary. There's a twist at the end, while all the way through Joseph, the genealogy goes father generated a son. Well, at the end, said that Joseph was the husband of Mary. Of her was born Jesus, who was called the Christ. That's a twist. Jesus, yes, is the line of David, but he was born not with cooperation of a man, not of Joseph, who was on Mary, who was born of Mary, and his birth is unique. So anyway, it's very interesting and to unpack all that's contained in this long list of names. We're a week away from Christmas. I'll see you next week for a Christmas message. Take care and God bless.